we're going to be playing a live set for you tonight. We are here in Beirut, in the studio where we record and we rehearse. It's called Dreampop. And yeah, so we've been in quarantine for about a month and a half, a month and a half. We were on tour in Germany in March, and then midway through the tour, Lebanon decided that they would be closing their borders within the next 3 days, and we had to come back very quickly. And anyways, right after that, most countries closed their borders, and everyone was going into quarantine. So yeah, it was pretty sad to be interrupting our tour, especially that we released an album this January and we were supposed to travel this year, but it's okay. At least we get to play this. So thank God for technology and virtual concerts. Okay, thank you. So we're going to be interrupting the footage every once in a while because the camera can only shoot up to 20 minutes, and then, yeah, so technology is not always great. We're mostly going to be playing our latest album, which The Good Soldier, but this next song is called Walls, and it's from our second EP from 2015.
Sour emotions vanish in views. Walls around us crumbling down, down along the line. We run around in circles and memories gone with the breeze. Troubled faces come back to me. Though the times change, you stay the same, casting off the blame. Not a word was spoken. Silence.
Thank you. So it's been really interesting, kind of trying to adapt the set to two guitars and quarter of a drum set. Is that a quarter? I don't know.
It's more than like a half.
Okay. Yeah, so we don't have our keyboards or our synthesizers, and these are kind of different versions of the songs. This next one's called Freediving of The Good Soldier.
Out of breath, swimming in the deep end. Close my eyes, something's changed again. Turquoise waters lapping at the tide. Let's go back, stand before the edge again. Do you know how I feel inside? There's nobody there to see this. There's nobody to see this. another summer that lingered into fall. A drop of water makes an ocean of it all, and then it disappears, and I am on an island. Sailors should be wary of the storm. Staying out of sight with fossilized. We'll be alright if only for a while. I called up Poseidon. I searched for all his sons, and if I could blind them, we'd watch them fall. So let the rivers flow and all the cities dry. I hope they never dry. Stay out of sight with fossilized. We'll be alright if only for a feels like the end of it all. Words seem to stumble and fall. Oh, somebody please find the lights. Take me home. Lying in bed, I know the spider webs above me will soon cover me, cover every hole and corner
It's very weird. I feel like I want to look up to an audience and see, I don't know, just see a tripod. How are you guys doing? Okay, good. ماشي الحال. خلانج. إيه hunting season. Should I do the camera thing? One more song?
Yeah,
Do one more song. This next one is the title track of the album, so it's called The Good Soldier.
with your head held high in a world with no heaven. All is farewell. Say your goodbyes. Maybe someday I'll make you mine. The flames burn well into the night. Our curtains leak no light. In the morning you'll see there won't be a sign. Stay close behind, and maybe someday I'll make you mine. And I, like so many more, have been through this before. I believed all the songs that I let them go. Say your goodbyes, and maybe someday I'll make you mine.
We'll be right back after this. Recording. You're gonna see me clap again. All right. So this is Dead End in its drone version.
Thank
One of the upsides of this quarantine is how much we've been able to watch. Like, we've been able to watch so many concerts online that we wouldn't have been able to usually, I think. Like, even if it's on Instagram and it's like one person playing, it's been really refreshing, especially for us. We hope that, hopefully that concert feels the same to you. But like, even watching Low in their basement, like playing on a guitar and like one speaker every Friday is such a, it's become like a ritual. That's it. That's all I want to say. This next song is called Lights Out. Here we go. I mean, I want to say that we're happy to be we're happy not just to be watching these concerts, but also lucky enough to be giving one of these concerts.
They were only children. Oh,
So much of this album, so much of this album was written in a phase where we had all moved out of our, like, we were kind of on our own for the first time, and we had moved out of our parents' houses, and so a lot about it, a lot of, like, a big theme in it is the idea of home. And we were just talking how I just moved out of that first flat that I was in for the last 2-3 years, and it's reassuring to see how, like, so many of the songs, or the words of the songs, were written in that place, but also there's a lot of references to things that happened in the house, or my experience living in that house, or even our experience being there. Like, yeah, especially, I mean, when we were singing Spiderwebs, I remember I got the idea for the Spiderwebs things because the ceiling at the top of the house had spiderwebs, remember? And I have fear of spiders, and I would kind of had, like, before sleeping, I would think, okay, at some point they're gonna come down and just crawl all over me. So, yeah. And this next song, there was a time when I first moved in, there were construction works happening right next to the house, and it was super loud. Every morning they would start at like 8 a.m. and it was so loud that the ground would shake. And then there was a window facing my bed, a high window, and someone had put red tape on it. I don't know, like the previous tenant. So you would wake up in the morning, the sun flooding the room, but it was this red light, and also the ground was moving, and it was a very kind of surreal image. And I thought it would be nice to include in the song. Anyway, it's nice to feel that the house has been is being remembered in the album, right? You all miss my house. So this is Little Lies. Little Lies. Slightly faster version as well.
So tired it would seem. Fall asleep every night, only to dream secret talks on dirty sidewalks. Will this growing wild.
Thank you. Thank you, Pascal. Should we check on the camera? I will. Still have 2 more songs for you guys, and then, yeah, no encores and recordings. Thank God. These next 2 are from our previous album, our first full length. It's called "I'll Be Here in the Morning." If you haven't heard it yet. I should have said that in the beginning, but we highly recommend that you listen to this with headphones. It's too late now. Maybe just for the last 2 songs. I mean, the sound is... we're in a studio, so we're lucky enough to have cool sound. So, but whatever. If you've been watching this on your laptop, then... Did you guys notice that I just talk to fill the time between tunings? But no, we do have things to say, but it's mostly covering for each other. There we go. So this one's Revolvers. So we're yeah. This is gonna be our last song for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I don't know what to say. These are really weird times. I hope we don't. I mean, I hope we get to play live soon. I hope you guys get to go to concerts and live your lives. For us, it's a double combo because Lebanon's in a deep financial, economical, political crisis. So as soon as this is over, it's revolution on the streets. We don't know what's gonna happen, but at least we have our music, and we've been together. We've been quarantined together, so we've been writing, and we've been so it's always an escape and also a way to kind of voice our frustration and our anger at things. On that happy note, we end the set, and if you have the means and you feel like supporting us or the musicians that you love, please do. I think Bandcamp are doing this monthly thing where they're like one Friday per month they're giving all the revenues to the artist directly, and which is a nice initiative. I'm sure there's many more, but this helps us directly also. And yeah, hope everyone's healthy and sane. And we're gonna end the set with a bit of noise and anger. It's yeah, that's it. everyone. This is it. You get to watch my t-shirt now.
Edward.
Oh, there we go.
Well, hi there.
Hi, Edward.
Okay, a warm welcome to KOHI and greetings from Karlsruhe. Thanks for the show, I guess. Really a pity you can't be here, of course, but still very nice to be able to spend the evening with you guys, even if it is at a distance. So, how's your experience been playing virtual shows? Have you done them a lot already so far, or is this the first try?
We've done one where it was on Instagram, so it's kind of different. But I think in general, it feels like weirdly enough, it feels like a very intimate way to connect with people, especially that we know that everyone's kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, like people are watching you from home, so it feels like even more intimate.
Feels like a private concert. So far, this is the longest one we've done, but yeah, it's been fun compared.
How's it been adapting your music for with the different setup? I mean, I'm also a drummer, so like props to your drummer making it work.
Yeah, it was a bit complicated. Like we had to not really complicated, but like we had to actually think about it and fight our instinct to like have the right hand do the right things. So. Yeah, and a couple of takes,
and kind of keep the songs angry or aggressive or noisy, but at the same time like not overdo it, especially for the camera and the recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a bit of practice, but I think it's a nice way
toning down the excitement and stuff like.
It's a nice way to rearrange the songs. I feel we really enjoyed it.
That's cool. I mean, I think anything that kind of pushes you to explore a new kind of territory is always going to be interesting, and maybe you'll pick up some new things that you'll keep doing even after Corona, you know. Talking about like this whole like loud and aggressive thing, is it easier for you guys or harder to kind of? I can imagine that getting that kind of energy, right, to play those kinds of songs is a bit tougher without a crowd in front of you. I feel like the crowd always motivates you to play. A lot of bands I know that make kind of more melancholic music, when they play live, they have this extra energy to it, even just because of being in the room. Did it take an adaptation, kind of saying like, hey, we need to find our energy somewhere else, or what was that like for you guys?
Yeah, we kind of needed to feed off each other more, I guess, especially that we were sitting on chairs because I think we didn't really want to try it standing up. It would have felt a bit weird, but yeah, for sure, like playing in front, there's nothing that compares to playing in front of an audience. Even if you can't see them, there's an energy in the room that you can feel, and it's very different. So yeah, it was very awkward. The first take we did, we got drunk before it didn't work to kind of ease the tension, and then we redid like one that's proper. Yeah.
It's not, I guess getting drunk beforehand is kind of a coin flip. It's either going to be useless or it's going to be the best take you've ever done, you know?
Exactly. So we thought we'd try and risk it, but it didn't work.
Might as well try new things, right? Again, with the idea of the energy, so like obviously I've been listening to your music a lot over the last few days and introducing it to a lot of friends who all have really enjoyed it. So props to you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Your first album, the name I forgot.
I'll Be Here in the Morning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of felt like, for me personally, listening to it, the newer album, The Good Soldier, had a little bit more energy to it. It was a little bit more forward, kind of. Maybe I'm wrong, but you know, that's just how I felt. I wanted to ask for you guys. What would you say is the biggest difference in terms of sound that you were going for in the second album? Like, how did your kind of genre personally change, or what kind of different feelings, what different emotions were going into it? What would be the big standout difference between the two, and what made that happen? Kind of, what was the journey behind it?
I think forward is kind of the right word. This is what it's what we always try to explain, but we never kind of have the word. It feels like I'll Be Here in the Morning was a great testament to what we could do, and then for us, like, it was it was kind of a big challenge for us to get to that point. And then we kind of felt more comfortable with that sound and we pushed it further. And I think playing live, because after I'll Be Here in the Morning, we officially became a trio. So playing live as a trio and kind of switching around the bass between us, and somehow we ended up with this bigger, more like...
Yeah, like the bigger the band, the less you have to do. So when we were a trio, we had like more responsibilities live, and like more
energy, and more intensity. So that definitely went into the music that we were writing as a trio after that. And then I think just like growing, like the older you get, the more...
Yeah, like it's us being comfortable with this also.
The more comfortable you are with your sound, and the more forward you are with your emotions, and the angrier you are, and I guess it just all piled up and advanced forward, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of bands that I know kind of try after their first album, in their second album, to kind of do something new, because you have that pressure to kind of try something new, and it can feel very forced, but it seemed really natural with you guys, you know, so I was just wondering how that came through. Have you guys got a favorite song off the album, or is it impossible to choose between your children which one you love the most?
It's kind of difficult, but like...
do you have a favorite song? At least that you like to play?
It changes, like, I don't know. Every once in a while, I favor one and listen to it more, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm really proud of Last Resort and the way it turned out, because that was really... Like, for us, that was an experiment, and it worked, and I'm really happy. We didn't play it in the live set, but the idea of like having kind of this weird, like, repetitive ambient song in the middle of kind of a more poppy album was a bit of a risk for us, but I'm proud of how it turned out. Yeah.
So I've heard this thing before with most creative people, right? So that there's kind of a differentiation between creative types sometimes about the way that work is produced. So some singers or some painters or some writers will kind of sit down and create something in one go, and first take and it's done, and it just kind of flows out of them. Whereas some people are more like they'll work on a painting for a year, going back over it, making little changes. What would you guys say you're more like? Are you more of a, if the song comes, it comes and it flows through you guys, or is it always a work in process? What song has been, maybe if there's one that kind of just came and first take and everyone was happy with it and it's great, and what was maybe like the song that took the most reworks, that kind of felt like struggling and pushing through to get it kind of ready to go?
It's a mix of both.
Yeah, I think it's. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of songs just come out right, and they need very little change, and a lot of them we just keep playing them live and keep changing them.
Yeah.
I think Little Lies was the one that was really just set from the get-go. Like it's only 3 instruments, and we added layers in the recording, but when we were writing it, it just came out, and that was it, and that's kind of the version that stayed.
Free diving too.
Yeah, free diving.
Kind of.
No, you forgot that part where we spent.
Yeah. But the Last Resort, the song we were talking about, was actually one of the first draft of the second album that got stuck, and it was the last song to be ready at the end. So it was, but we're going back and forth for like 2 years over it. So,
and I feel like it's very instinctive. Like sometimes when you just write something immediately and it works, you're suspicious. Like, why did this work? Should I rework it? Should I rethink it? But there's something like your gut tells you, no, this works, and then some songs just they keep not feeling right until a certain point. So and even now, like if you could rework every song on the album, we probably would, but then that's it.
Yeah. Okay. You want to tell us a little bit of a story behind the band? Sorry about that.
Is that your dinner?
Yeah, that is the doorbell with the dinner. Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit of a story about the band? You guys moved down to a trio for the last album. How did you all meet as a band? What was the journey like? What made you decide to move down to 3? Just a little bit of background information about you guys.
Yeah, so Pascal, the drummer here, and Marwan, the guitarist, are cousins. So they've known each other for a long time. And then I met them through a mutual friend around 7 years ago. And then Irani, who was our bassist, is also an old friend of theirs. And I think within like a couple of weeks of knowing each other, we just decided that we wanted to make a band, and we felt that we really connected musically. And yeah, so we have 3 EPs and a full length. And then after the first full length, our bassist kind of had a, different path in life, but not necessarily like it didn't end badly at all. It was just, we kind of parted ways, and
he moved out of the country.
And yeah, for a year he was studying in the UK, so it was also like physically impossible to do anything. So yeah, we just continued as a trio, and it was really tricky at first, especially like reworking all the songs live, but eventually we kind of got the hang of it, and now it feels natural. Yeah, that's the story.
We've got a few questions from the chat. The first one, and one I would have also asked out of personal interest, are you guys working on a third album?
Yes. Wait, what happened? No, I don't want to share screen. 1 second. Actually, this entire quarantine, we've been actually writing. So we have about 12 songs, and we're just going to keep writing and see what happens. So there's definitely new music on the way, but we don't know when it's going to be released or when it's going to be recorded. But it's been like... Yeah,
like we were on tour together, and then we came back to Lebanon, and we were like confined together. And everything is literally shot in Lebanon. Like, there's everything. Nothing, yeah. You can't go out. So we're only going to the studio and working almost every day. And it's been really fruitful,
productive,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time to kind of get back to the studio, right? There's not a lot else to do.
It felt like the break we needed, kind of, because we never have that luxury. We're always...
Yeah, we always have like side jobs.
We have our side jobs, we have our tours, and now that we're not working, it's perfect. Not making money.
Yeah, it's keeping us sane also. So.
Well then, I mean, you guys have set a pretty hard bar with your last album, but hopefully the next one is...
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Another good one, which is actually a really interesting question. What dish do you crave the most but can't get it because of because of COVID-19? Well, like food. Is there any food you can't get right now?
Yeah, I mean, like Lebanese food is all about like sharing and eating from the same plates. I think I really miss this. It's like a huge table of small plates, really colorful stuff and really nice stuff. And yeah, I think it's gonna be postponed for like a year.
I'm fine because he's a really good cook. So he cooks for the band, he cooks for me. It's perfect. Like I'm eating everything I want. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the first time in a while that like whenever we feel like eating something, we have the time to prepare it and the discipline and stuff. Like usually there's never time.
So, I mean, you were touring. How long were you guys touring before COVID hit?
We did nine concerts, or 8 out of like 16. So it was about 2 weeks, like 10 days. Yeah, with a few breaks in between. We were supposed to play at KOHI the day we left. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a chance to play again. Don't worry. Where did you guys go? Was it just through Europe or just Germany or?
No, it was through Germany. We had the gigs planned in Austria, but they were part of the ones that got cancelled. So we did Berlin and Frankfurt and I forgot.
Yeah, me too. Like everywhere.
It feels like centuries ago. What else did we do? Dresden? No, did we do?
Yeah, some really small towns and like the major stuff.
Yeah.
Also. Like
Halle,
Plauen,
Halle. Yeah.
What's your experience been like with German crowds? Are we as unfun as the cliche would kind of?
No, honestly, like 90% of the time, it's the best crowd because it's the kind that is really attentive and like really gets into the music. But sometimes when it's a seated like theater, it's kind of scary because you feel like the claps are very polite. You're not sure that the people like the songs, but otherwise, I feel like I'd rather have a quiet crowd than people talking over us, even if it's like more excited. So we love German crowds.
Yeah, like you get like a 60-year-old come to you after the concert, and like you share the same bands, and like he's up to date with the same music, and that's really cool because we don't have this in Lebanon.
It's actually true because we noticed that in Europe, like age is not an issue when it comes to rock concerts or anything, but here it feels like, our people we know that are like 50 and over would never go to a venue and to a concert. Like it's very rare, but like we love that abroad. It's kind of whoever's the there. Yeah, it's part of the culture. And
okay, so we're very inclusive here, I guess. Then, do you ever feel like there's more pressure, kind of, especially playing some of the more atmospheric pieces or something, because you feel like if the people aren't partying, then every mistake gets heard or something?
Maybe, but I feel like people kind of know what they're getting into when I feel like, especially speaking about like German or European crowds, like they've listened to your music before buying the ticket, so they know it's not going to be like dancing and fun. But yeah, we've had a few concerts where we were put in like weird circumstances and people were trying to dance to like our quietest songs. Yeah. It doesn't matter to us, but
we've
like
had both extremes. Like also like you're in a club and like everyone's expecting to party all night, and there's us starting at like 9:30 and like yeah.
A lot of your songs are like very emotional, especially off the first album, and some of them are sadder. And I can imagine some of that might be inspired from real life events or something. Are there any songs that are kind of so emotionally connected to something that they get hard to play or something? Or like, are there any songs that are really intensely meaningful for you in such a way that performing them live gets difficult sometimes?
You go.
That's a good question, but I think when we're performing, the process of writing and being like writing and recording in the studio gets very emotional sometimes, and maybe kind of stops the productivity aspect of it. But I feel like live, for me, I mean, singing those lyrics and everything, I'm in a different mindset, so I'm not really. It's always it's a kind of a very dissociative experience where I don't feel like I'm in I'm speaking about a specific thing, but definitely the process of writing and recording has that feeling. But live, it's like a different dimension of the song. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, no, I don't feel that live. Just do you?
Not really. No, I understand what you're saying. Like when we're playing, we're like in another mindset. You don't really pay attention to what you're doing or what you're saying. You're just like in this.
You're in the moment.
In the song,
and,
in the concert. Like.
Yeah, so like you could even kind of say that when you play something live, it's more of an experience and not the song itself. Whereas in the studio, it's like a product and a thing. But
exactly,
when live, it's an experience. Yeah, that makes sense. Got another question from the chat about what music inspired you.
In general, wow, yeah, I don't know where to start. I hate this question because anytime someone asks me, I can't think of any artist that I like off the top of my head. It just blanks out. But right now, what are we listening to? We've been listening to Preoccupations actually right now.
Some post-punk.
The new Fiona Apple, which is
insane,
gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much music that inspires us. Honestly, it's like the thing that keeps you going. And sometimes it's just depressing to see how good music can be, and like where are we compared to that? But yeah. It's
But for the second album, it's like mainly some slowcore and shoegaze bands.
Yeah, a lot
from
of
the 90s, like some.
A lot of low. Is definitely Twin Peaks definitely made its way onto there because we watched it. We watched it all like before the second album, so the atmosphere of it and the music.
A lot of ambient music also because our producer is an amazing like ambient. Musician and like he's always like giving us some
pushing
really
us
nice albums.
Exactly
and like we have the front seat row with him and
Wise Blood I really love actually and her she's inspiring a lot of the new songs just in the way that she thinks about chords and progressions and I don't know that was a long answer but there's so much that I can't think about right now.
It's supposed to be a long answer, I think. It would be sad if it was a pre-prepared list, so it's good. So for me, when it comes to KOHI, I do an event called Storytelling, where we have an open mic and people are allowed to share their stories. I think stories are great. It's what makes the world go around. I also come from a culture that thrives on storytelling from Ireland, like very oral culture. What I'd like to ask you guys is, in your time touring, what's your favorite touring story? Or what's the touring story you want to share with us right now? And no holds barred. It can be crazy. It can be weird and unsettling. It can be wild. Whatever you feel like sharing.
Do we have wild tour stories?
No, not really. Like,
we're pretty tame as a band. So,
yeah, but like there are some like specific moments to remember, like weird stuff happening, but like there's not enough for a full story. Like there's this one time when Marwan was going around the bus.
This is hard to explain. I think
there's like I would like something I'd remember is we were driving. We had a concert in Caltern in northern Italy.
Yeah,
the Caltern Pop Festival. So we were driving at night, and we had just landed in Europe, and we were driving overnight, and we went to this really like amazing valley, and we were listening to Sufjan Stevens.
We got lost in the dark at like 4 a.m. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
And for
but
4
like
hours.
going up the mountain, we saw like deers coming to the car, and it was like really magical. And then we got lost, and we ended up sleeping at like 6 a.m.
That's as wild as it gets. But for us, it was quite surreal to be like driving at night with no lights and just seeing deer in front of us. I think that's wild animals is always a blessing for us, because we don't there's barely any wild animals.
Mainly pigeons
here. Anything else? I don't know. There's so many stories.
When we were doing the archery.
No,
thing.
that's not. Yeah.
That, you know.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Have you got any questions about KOHI? Have you ever been to KOHI before?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
one of our favorite concerts in Germany.
It was really nice. KOHI. Yeah. It was fall of 2018, I think, or in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there 2 nights because we had a day off, and yeah, we loved Tom, and we loved the space, and it was I think it was like a full house and really cool concert, really great space.
We went there, and like you can feel the community, and like that's the best kind of concerts. Like it's never the one that plays the best or whatever, but like when you feel like that everything is makes sense, like the whole event makes sense, like
and there's a lot of love put into the venue and into the bands and into the music, and we're not just saying that because they hosted us. Like we actually love the place.
I know the feeling. I've been in the same position of saying it's not just because I have my event here. This is actually a phenomenal place. Yeah. Do you come across a lot of clubs that feel like communities like that? Do you play a lot of kind of culture centers like this, or?
Not really, actually. It stands out. I would say KOHI stands out in this.
Trying to think of like places that we played.
There's Vera and
actually Vera in Groningen in the Netherlands, which is like we went there, we had no idea what it was, and it's like a really old club where like everyone has played, and like
U2, Nirvana,
Sonic Youth, like everyone, and the people there are so passionate, and they're all like most of them are volunteers, and they made us feel at home, even though we're probably like they usually deal with much bigger bands, but
and
the
DJ was like 50, and his playlist was
the
amazing.
best DJ night.
I really enjoyed your concert. If I want to support you guys as a band, what do I do?
I don't know. Follow us and like
stay updated.
Buy our albums.
If you don't have the album, buy it. That's all we can offer right now. And then next time we tour, show up and bring friends.
Yeah.
Of course. What was I going to say? Have you got any tips for people how to kind of stay sane during Corona?
Be productive in any kind of way.
Don't pressure yourself, I would say. I mean, do what makes you feel comfortable. If you feel like being productive and this calms you, do it. If you feel like doing nothing, then do it. If you want to get creative, do it. But for us, it worked because we were together. But I think if I was quarantined alone, I wouldn't have done anything. So it really depends on the individual. Just do what makes you happy.
And focus on stuff that usually you never have time to focus on. Like, I don't know.
Baking.
Relationships, friendships.
Yeah. Keep good relationships. Humans will keep you sane, I guess.
Yeah. We can be connected while far apart somehow, you know? One last question out of personal interest. Lebanese food sounded really interesting. If I want to make some Lebanese food at home, what do I do? What would you suggest would be a good starting recipe to follow?
You can send us a couple of messages.
I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that you can. There's a lot of home cooked food that are kind of stews with rice.
Yeah, like Lebanese food is mainly like 2 ingredients with lemon and oil and like
a garlic and onion.
And like
always
10 of them, and then you have a really beautiful table. It's like a real nice tomato with like just salt and olive oil. That would be a Lebanese dish, in my opinion.
But also eggplants with anything.
Yeah.
Cooked in any way. I don't know.
Eggplants.
We're not being specific.
Hummus is super good, and actually the Lebanese version is super simple. There's nothing in it. Tabbouleh. I don't know. It's just mainly based around fresh produce, and like if I would do Lebanese food in Germany, I would use like German vegetables. I wouldn't replicate Lebanese dishes, in my opinion. Like,
we'll send you more specific stuff later on if you want.
Okay, great. Well, I don't think there's any more questions from the chat. I've had a really nice time talking to you guys, and I really enjoyed your concert. It was really interesting to see how you guys adapted it. I wasn't expecting it, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So
thanks for having us.
Gladly, and hopefully we'll get to see you again. To anyone out there, buy or listen to the album The Good Soldier. Look forward to the next album and buy that one too. And if you can support KOHI in any way, please do that as well. I know there's enough ways to do that. You can check it out on the KOHI website and all that. So a big thanks to KOHI, a big thanks to you guys, and I hope everyone out there is having a nice little evening for themselves. So bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dorit. Bye, everyone.